All right, ready to head to the Himalayas. Today we're diving deep into the life of Chungba Sherpa, Nepal's first wildlife photographer.
Oh, fascinating.
You'd think someone with a title like that would have, started young,
Yeah.
but Chungba didn't pick up a camera till he was 60.
Wow.
It's like a whole other life began. Yeah. We've got some incredible sources to help us, articles, interviews, even a documentary.
Great.
I can't wait to unpack it all.
Me too.
Our mission today, to understand what drove this man, what he faced, and what he left behind.
A great goal.
Chungba was born in a small village,
Yeah.
near Everest,
Right.
a place steeped in, like, mountaineering tradition.
Yeah.
His family was deeply involved in the tourism industry, guides and porters.
I see.
So young Chungba, surrounded by this majestic landscape, imagine.
Beautiful.
But growing up amidst those peaks, there's more to it than that. Right?
Exactly. Even though his family was part of this bustling world of tourism,
Right.
Chungba felt a different pull, He was drawn to the quiet of the wilderness, that untamed beauty beyond the well-trodden paths.
So almost like
Yeah.
two paths diverging,
Oh, yeah.
like Robert Frost.
Exactly. And for a big part of his life, Chungba chose responsibility,
Yeah.
He worked as a guide and porter, honoring family, supporting them.
Makes sense.
But that spark for photography never died out.
This is where things get interesting. At 60, he takes this leap of faith, picks up a camera,
Wow.
dedicates himself to capturing the essence of the Himalayas. Talk about a second act.
Makes you wonder, what was it about that time in his life? What allowed him to pursue that passion?
Well, one source mentioned that Chungba was always a keen observer of nature. As a guide, he was spending countless hours in the wilderness. His knowledge of the terrain, animal behavior, unparalleled.
Wow.
Perhaps those years weren't just about a living, but also like honing his skills
I see.
subconsciously, getting ready for this.
That's a great point. Suggests that his late entry into photography wasn't a disadvantage, but a culmination.
Yeah.
All those experiences shaped his vision, his approach.
So he wasn't just a photographer. He was a mountaineer, a local expert, intimately familiar with the Himalayas.
Right.
This wasn't a hobby.
No.
It was almost like a destiny
Yeah.
waiting to be fulfilled. And one of Chungba's first major goals was to capture the snow leopard
Oh, wow.
in the Annapurna Conservation Area,
Yeah.
a region known for its challenging terrain
Right.
and the beauty, of course.
Of course.
For those who aren't familiar, the Annapurna Conservation Area is a vast protected region in Nepal, home to diverse ecosystems,
Right.
endangered species, including the snow leopard. It's a place where the mountains themselves seem to, hold their breath.
Beautiful.
And the snow leopard it's notoriously difficult to spot, right?
Oh, absolutely.
A master of camouflage, blends in seamlessly.
Yeah.
A testament to Chungba's patience and skill and knowledge that he was able to do what he did. So picture this, Chungba in his 60s, trekking for weeks, harsh conditions, all for a glimpse of this phantom cat.
Wow.
What does he achieve? Over 40 incredible photographs of the snow leopard in its natural habitat.
That's incredible.
And these weren't just simple snapshots, right?
Oh, no. They were powerful. Raw beauty, the power, and the vulnerability
It's so
of this
great.
magnificent creature.
Sources describe them as breathtaking, almost like spiritual, like looking into the eyes of the mountains themselves.
Wow.
But what's even more remarkable is what he did with these photographs.
Yeah.
He didn't just, lock them away or sell them for profit.
No.
He used them to advocate for conservation.
Sure.
He brought their plight to the world.
How inspiring.
It's like he was saying, look at this creature, this symbol of the Himalayas, let's protect it. His photographs, they became a voice
Yeah.
for the voiceless,
Yeah.
raising awareness
Yeah.
in a way that words just couldn't.
That's the real magic, isn't it? He wasn't just a photographer. He was a storyteller, a conservationist, using his lens to bridge that gap between us and the natural world.
It's making me think about those years he spent as a guide, immersed in nature.
Yeah.
Maybe those experiences weren't just a prelude to his photography career,
Right.
but an integral part of it.
Absolutely. It's as if his life was leading him to this path, equipping him, the skills, the knowledge, the empathy, to become the voice of the Himalayas.
So we got this fascinating character, a late bloomer, a mountaineer turned artist, driven by passion. And he's just getting started. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into Chungba's journey.
Can't wait.
His style, the challenges, and the impact his work had.
Looking forward to it.
Those snow leopard photos, incredible. Truly a feat, any age, let alone in his 60s. But how did he go from guide to skilled photographer so quickly?
Well, remember, those years as a guide weren't just leading treks.
Right.
He was constantly observing, you see.
I see.
Animal behavior, the nuances of the terrain, learning to anticipate the light, the shadows. Those were his unofficial training years, so to speak.
So his photography, it wasn't just passion, but built on this practical knowledge.
Yes.
Not just what he saw, but how being a guide taught him how to see.
Exactly. And this leads to the next fascinating layer, his style.
Okay.
Back then, equipment was bulkier, less forgiving.
Right.
Yet his photos have this timeless quality, a sense of patience, respect for the subjects.
One source mentioned he liked a particular type of camera,
Right.
a manual film camera, no digital previews, no like rapid fire shooting.
Oh, wow.
Every click had to count.
That's where the experience comes in, you know?
Yeah.
He couldn't rely on technology to do the work.
Right.
Had to understand the equipment deeply, be meticulous with composition, truly anticipate the moment.
Makes his snow leopard success even more impressive. Talk about pressure. But beyond the technical, what about the emotional side? Sources mention a unique empathy.
This is where Chungba shines. Many wildlife photos, they're about capturing power, you know, maybe even danger. But his work has this gentleness, like he's inviting us in, not as observers, but guests.
I see that. A sense of connection, like he's communicating through the lens.
And that's not accidental. He'd spend days, weeks even, tracking an animal, learning its habits, almost earning its trust, before even taking a photo.
Wow.
Not about the hunt, but understanding the creature.
Such a contrast to today's, well, often competitive, even exploitative wildlife photography.
Right.
He reminds us it can be about building a bridge, not just capturing a moment.
And that bridge wasn't just between human and animal. Chungba was deeply involved in conservation. His photos were key.
I see.
He supported organizations like the Snow Leopard Conservancy, raising awareness, funds for their work.
So, not just pretty pictures, actively using his art to protect what he documented. Were the sources specific about how effective this was?
Absolutely. They were in international publications, brought the Himalayas to the world. This brought much-needed attention, resources to conservation in Nepal.
I can picture it, people across the world seeing these, being moved, inspired to act. It's almost like his late start gave him a different urgency to make each photo count for more.
It's fascinating, isn't it? We think of youth as the time for bold action, but Chungba challenges that.
Right.
Sometimes life experience combined with passion can be more potent.
Makes me wonder, did he face any pushback? Was it hard for a man in his 60s back then to break in?
There are anecdotes about, well, some skepticism at first.
Yeah.
From the photography community. Some question the late start, the lack of formal training.
I see.
But his work spoke for itself.
Classic underdog story, defying expectations. And it speaks to the universal appeal of his message, that beauty of nature transcends age, background, even credentials.
It's a reminder, the most impactful stories, they come from unexpected places. And for Chungba, it wasn't just his story, but the animals, the mountains, the whole ecosystem he brought to life.
Like he gave a voice to a world we don't often see or hear, and reminded us of our connection, our responsibility to protect it. But his journey, it doesn't end there. Stay with us as we explore the lasting legacy of Chungba Sherpa, the man who showed us it's never too late to make a difference. We've talked about his journey, his style, his love for conservation. But I'm curious, what was the real impact? How did his photos actually protect the Himalayas?
That's the big question, right? Beautiful art is one thing,
Yeah.
but to see real change.
Right.
Chungba offers some great examples.
Okay, I'm listening. What changed because of his work?
Well, for one, the snow leopard. His photos were essential in raising awareness about their situation.
It's easy to forget that now with all the information out there. Back then, the photo could really change things.
Exactly. His snow leopard images, National Geographic, huge audience.
Wow.
Brought attention to poaching, habitat loss, the need for conservation in the Himalayas.
So a bridge between that remote world and, well, the people who could help.
Exactly. And it wasn't just awareness. His photos, used in campaigns by groups like the Snow Leopard Conservancy, raising funds, research, anti-poaching, community programs.
No, they weren't just admired, they were
Yeah.
actively helping.
Exactly. And his impact went beyond the snow leopard, too.
Oh,
He
wow.
documented the red panda, the Himalayan tahr, even the Bengal tiger.
Wow, so the whole spectrum of Himalayan wildlife.
Exactly. Showed how interconnected those ecosystems are.
Right.
He was advocating for the whole region.
It's interesting, his photos had this dual purpose. Art, capturing the beauty, but also tools for education, for advocacy.
And that's Chungba's legacy. Photography can be more than just a hobby, a job. It can be a force for good, a way to connect,
Yeah.
and a way to inspire conservation.
It's like we all have a role to play. Maybe not all gifted photographers,
Right.
but we can appreciate, respect, advocate.
Well said. Chungba's story is hopeful, Even with the challenges facing our planet, passion and dedication can make a difference.
Yeah.
That's a message to hold on to.
Absolutely. So next time you see a photo, breathtaking animal, stunning landscape, remember Chungba.
Yes.
Remember the story, the connection, the responsibility.
And remember, it's never too late. To find your passion, use your talents, make a difference, leave a legacy. That's Chungba's story.
It's a story that'll keep inspiring.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Chungba Sherpa, a remarkable man who showed us passion, perseverance, and the beauty of the Himalayas.